Hello everybody, I'm Slice and welcome to episode 36 of All the Mods 8. Today, we start making radioactive waste. As usual, we start off with a teeny little bit of an update. Last episode I mentioned needing to create a lot of sand and soul sand, and so I made a monstrosity. This kind of combines a few things, though. This has an igneous extruder, which just has lava and then water next to it, with a pipes pipe, with an ultimate pipe upgrade going into a chute. What that's doing is it's going into a a crushing wheel setup, which is run by an electric motor. Actually, there's two of them, right? Because not only is that running the crushing wheel, it's also running this conveyor. And I didn't know if I needed this conveyor. I also wasn't sure if this would automatically output into the next one. So what I did is I just made it staggered a little bit. And then this makes the items fall onto the chute, which pushes it into this. Sorry, it falls onto the conveyor belt, which pushes it into the chute. This chute puts gravel into this and then kicks out a bunch of stuff. Now, nothing's falling onto the ground because of this guy right here. As you can see, it covers that area, so it would pick it up regardless. Right now, it is just going into a hopper. I tried this numerous different ways because I wanted not only sand, but I also wanted soul sand, and I didn't necessarily want to dump the rest of the stuff that comes out of it. And what I came up with was putting the basic item collector on the hopper with a pipes upgrade set to round robin. So that way it will toss some stuff in here, but it'll also toss it in here. Meaning I will always get sand coming through here, as well as, let's see, clay and flint. What'll happen, this thing has I can't get close enough to it, but this has a filter on it that goes, don't pick up sand. It'll pick up everything else though. So regardless of what this thing drops, it'll pick it up except for sand. And what that does is it allows the soul fire setup here to change it into soul sand. Now because of that, I have accrued a decent amount of both soul sand and sand. And this is just going to run. It's not pretty by any means. It is very janky, but it works. So today, what we're going to work on is a reactor. But first, we got to get the Fissile Fuel set up. Now, the Mekanism wiki actually has a phenomenal picture and setup guide on how to actually set this up. So I'll link that down below so that way you can follow that as well. All we have to do is set up these machines the way I have them labeled or have them in my inventory, and it should work with some configuration, but we'll have to go through that. Now, what I'm going to do, we're going to have a little bit of a fun situation, I think. I'm doing this maybe reversed because I'm getting the reactor set up, which is going to give me radioactive waste that I'm not necessarily going to have a place to store right away. Now, I know the radioactive bees, for example, here go into wasted radioactive bees. And I believe that is through a process of like destroying the waste barrel and letting it leak out into the environment. But I don't personally like the idea of having radioactive waste just chilling. So what I went ahead and did is I made compact machines. And this is going to be a very dangerous little setup One thing I did not do here is create my suit. So let's do that real quick. That and that one. Now this suit will help protect us against the radioactive waste that comes up. It's not going to be perfect, but it'll help. It'll keep us alive. All right, so that's going to be there. This is going to be, let's see, reactor, and then this is going to be fizzle and bees. I figure I'll combine the fizzle and the bees. I think that'll be fine. The only thing that I'm not positive about here is whether or not having the radioactive waste that gets put into the environment will mess with the Fissile Fuel setup. I don't know the answer to that, but we're going to find out because that's how I'm going to set it up. And I've done this so that way all I have to do is come over here and go like this. Right? And then I still have my jetpack here, so that way I can still fly. But I grab that and then go into these. Now, I don't have anything set up for the reactor just yet. I just have the Fissile Fuel set up, but we'll get to that a little bit later. All right, first things first, always come in here and chunk load these so that way you can have them set up. And then let's set up my new spawn point set so that way I will always spawn right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to set this up. Right? That. Now, hopefully that this works just fine here. Actually, this needs to come back one. So here. The only thing I don't like is that it's auto-filling my inventory and it's messing up my slots here. So this one can go there, that one can go there. No, sorry. Ooh. Let's turn that off. Goes there, that goes there. Nope, did it wrong again. I'm following a guide at the moment. That doesn't even look right. I think these might need to be reversed. I might have put them in the wrong slot when I was setting this up. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, now this one and this one. That goes there, that goes there, and then this final one here will go attached to this. And this is where Fissile will eventually come out of. I'm thinking we can do... Can I pull out of the top of this? I don't know if I can. I'm going to try to pull out of the top of it. And then what we can do is have an ender tank inside of the reactor compact machine. And that should work nicely. Okay, so now I have to go through and configure everything. Once I have it configured, I'll step through it so that way you can see the entire process before I actually complete it. I have changed the setup slightly. Out here where my ME system is, I have set up this ME interface that has the 4 pieces that I'm going to need and then just extras. Right, so I have uranium ingots, sulfur dust, fluorite, and the fluorite dust chilling in there. So that way, I also have that entangled. Right, so that's here. And then these, as you can see, are pushing items into the machines, right? So this one will push over here, and this one will push way over here. Okay, so what's going to happen? This gets turned into sulfur dioxide, which pushes into here on the right-hand side, because it needs to be on the right-hand side. That's important. Then up here we have... Why is this still not working? There we go. I guess it doesn't want to auto-eject it, even though it's on. Okay, so it's expelling the hydrogen, but it's using the oxygen through here, getting pushed into here. As you can see, it has an oxygen sat there. It's making sulfur trioxide, which is getting pushed into here. And then water vapor is coming from this machine, which it's literally just making water vapor. And then this is pushing out sulfuric acid over here, which is then combining fluorite into hydrofluoric acid, which is getting pushed into this right side, and then combining with this setup. Right, we got the uranium oxide now, and then we're combining it into the uranium hexafluoride, which is getting pushed into the isotopic centrifuge, which is making fissile fuel. Now, I have the fissile fuel in the isotopic centrifuge also entangled. Now, so this right here is the entangled block that I'll be able to pull the fissile fuel out of for what we're about to build. Now, what we're about to build is the reactor to make polonium pellets. Well, technically, it's going to be making polonium. I haven't grabbed the stuff necessary for the full-on pellet production yet, but we'll get there. So this entire setup, I believe, is going to be 7 by 7 by 13. No. 2, 3. We need this. Okay, so now, you know what? Let's grab the building gadget. I think that's right. We'll find out. I had sort of built this and then calculated it, and I made the material. All right, so now what we want to do... Okay, yes, that is the correct amount. I know... I gotta remember if it was... this. Yeah, I think that's right. Right, and then we can go open that, take that. Don't fall off. And place these two. Don't forget to fill in every hole. This needs to be a full structure. And then what we're going to do, we're going to need 3 ports. 1 for intake, and then 2 for water vapor, and then the waste. So what we're going to do is I'm going to have 2 at the front. And then this one will be water. Now the water is going to be an interesting one. Oh, I don't have a sink. All right. So this, props to Pilpo, for this because I would not have known about this. I have not used integrated tunnels or integrated dynamics rather. But what this is going to do is it's going to allow me to push a ton of water. And then we do, wait a minute. I think I need to reverse this. I think that needs to go there. Oh, what? So this variable card is set up for a max integer pull. So it's going to pull as much water as it can possibly pull. And what we're going to do, we're going to set this to export fluid amount. And then once this actually gets set up, it will pull that. Now this, uh-oh. I'll come back to that. Hopefully that works. Might have to move things. Okay, take out 2 glass, that way we can walk. And now we need to put in the control rods. And finally, the fission fuel assembly. All right. And don't want to forget this. I'm going to put this in the back. This will be for the waste. Now I should be able to, maybe I have to wait for it to be a full thing. Let's take this up so that way I don't have a problem. And we can place. I'm missing one somewhere. There we go. You see the particles? It is now an actual reactor. It's not currently on. You can see that it's disabled. I could activate it with that. Let's see here. Output waste, output coolant, input only. Okay, well, will this work? It doesn't work. Apologies for the loud noise. I did just test this, and what I had to do is I had to make an ultimate chemical tank. And then, let's see, if I put it there, you can see that it's tied to it, and you can see that it is gaining fissile fuel. Now, when I go back into the other one, I'm gonna have to relink it. But what that should allow me to do, yeah, there we go. So now we link it, and then we go back over. And now this will be running. Okay, so this is probably where I'm going to want to bring that on just in case. Because once I turn this on, it's going to go crazy. Now, I think I might need to fix this. It might have actually needed to be the other way. Yeah, there we go. So this will permanently keep this full because it's always at max. Okay, so let's try and pull that. That didn't actually do anything. Why is this not pulling? Wait, is that not chunk loaded? It is chunk loaded. Oh boy, okay. A lot of trial and error and time spent later. I got something working. I had to go and make the quantum entanglopoter. 2 of them, actually. But what that's doing is it's now tied into the Fissile Fuel setup, and you can see that I'm gaining Fissile Fuel. And just so you can see what it looks like in the other pocket dimension. Okay. So what we did here is we had to set a new channel and then change the input. Now let's put this on and see what happens. Okay. So now you can see that we have nuclear waste and it is radioactive. Now what we can do is from back here, we'll want to put our containers. I believe it would be this. Decay rate of 0.05 millibuckets per tick. Actual decay rate, 1 millibucket per 20 ticks. Yeah, that makes sense. So let's make a handful of those. How many should I make? Let's go with this entire area. So one, I think this is what, 13? No, 11? 1, 2, 3. No, it's 13. So let's make let's just do 13 for the moment, just to make sure. Yep, it is 13. So let's go with 26. Now this could very well be overkill, but I would rather have too much than not enough and have it cause problems. Now eventually what's going to happen is I'm not going to want all of these in here because I'm going to want to make the wasted bees. I need more pressurized tubing. But for now, this should work. It's not telling me how much is in here. I wonder if there's a way I can tell. Well, we can see No gas stored. It seems like maybe it's actually already decayed. Let's turn this back on. Is there not a way I can, oh, I actually need to... Oh, I actually need 4 outputs. Hopefully this doesn't cause problems. Okay, now let's try to turn this back on. Steam is getting output. Waste is getting output. Heating rate is seemingly staying steady. Burn rate? Is there a way to change that? Yeah, there we go. Let's go with 1. It's staying steady. I don't think I need this to run at a ridiculous rate. Something that I am probably going to want to do, though, is instead of wasting this waste, I'm actually going to want to use it. Okay. So let's actually clean this up a little bit. And that waste that gets generated gets put into a few different things. I am looking for polonium. Okay, so I need to create this, which comes from the solar neutron activator. So we'll have to create that. Does 10 millibuckets of nuclear waste into 1 millibucket of polonium. Okay, let me craft up a few things and we'll see if we can start making polonium. Scratch the polonium idea. That's not going to happen this episode. It's a little bit more involved than I originally thought. So instead, I have opted to rebuild this. Just in case. Now, I don't really want to use any of this fuel up, so I'm just going to let this run. But if I need to, I can set it to run. Now, the reason why I'm not going to go for the polonium, okay, so the polonium requires, sorry, the polonium nugget or pellet requires polonium and water. Polonium requires a solar neutron activator to use the nuclear waste. In order to craft this, I have to be able to make this HDPE sheet, which comes from the pellets, which comes from using a pressurized reaction chamber with liquid ethylene. And I do not have a liquid ethylene set up, and that is a little bit out of scope for now. So for the time being, we're just going to leave it there. If you'd like to help the community, please consider dropping a like on this video and sharing with your friends. Don't forget to click that subscribe button for future videos. And if you'd like to stay up to date, check the link below so that you can follow on your preferred platform. We have a Discord that you can join where I'll be posting most frequently. Please drop a comment, let me know what you thought about the video, and thanks for chilling.